All right, good evening. At this time, I'd like to call the October 7th Claims Committee meeting to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Wall,
Here.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Present.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilman Ferry, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Present.
Councilman Donegan,
Present.
Councilman Campiano,
Here.
Council President Reno.
Present.
Next up on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone in the chamber who would like to speak on matters on the docket for the Claims Committee meeting? Please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Okay, there being none, is there any public comment online?
There is no public comment.
Public comment is closed. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to move to executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42465A2.
So moved.
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas to go into executive session. Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano, Council President Reno.
Yes.
Okay, we are in executive session. Thank you. If we could take our seats, we can get started. At this time, I will entertain a motion to return to open session. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that there were votes taken during the executive session. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to seal the executive session minutes.
So moved.
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the September 9th regular meeting.
So moved.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
This time I'll entertain a motion to approve of the sealed minutes from the executive session during the September 9th meeting. These were distributed prior to the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
There being nothing further on the agenda, at this time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
We've been there together.
Tea time?
Every day of every work day.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Safety Service and License Committee agenda through the clerk. Can you please take the roll?
Councilman Ferry, Council Vice President Vargas.
Present.
Councilwoman Horoyan. Councilman
Present.
Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Present.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Present.
Councilman Wall.
Here.
Council President Marino.
Present.
Oh, next item, approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 9, 2024 regular meeting?
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none through the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Right, next item is public comments. I'm going to have public comments on appearing before this evening's docket. I'm limiting those comments to 3 minutes. If there's anybody here this evening who would like to speak on docketed item, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. And then when we're done here in the council chambers, if there's anybody online that wishes to speak, if we have anybody that logs in, we'll turn it over to the Zoom side as well. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, council. My name is Sharon Steele. I live at 95 Chestnut Street in Providence, 02903. And I am the president of the Jewelry District Association. And Jen Freitas currently runs a business in our district called The District. And I have known Jen since 2016. I have been involved with the Jewelry District Association for 27 years. I've been the president for the past 5 years, and I have testified at probably 100 liquor licenses, most of them for the city of Providence. And Jen has been an extraordinary business owner. There are very few people who work as hard as she does. I currently have 10 restaurants and clubs in the Jewelry District. And I can say unequivocally that since Jen has come into the district, I have never had even one complaint about her business. She is extraordinarily successful. She has an amazing reputation, and I could only hope for having a dozen more just like Jen. And I'm jealous because if we had another building for her, she would be opening another place in the Jewelry District. So if there are any questions, I would be happy to address them. And if not, thank you very much for allowing me to share those facts about Jen.
Thank you. Else in the chamber who would like to speak? Docketed items? Come right over, sir. Just name and address for the record, please.
My name is Raymond Grant Meyer, and I live at 418 Laurel Hill Avenue, Cranston, Rhode Island.
Go right ahead, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am against the liquor license for Las Homies doing business as La Esquina. It is a very residential area. We've been there for 18 years, myself, me and my wife. She grew up in the house originally. It used to be a little candy store years ago. Then it was a sandwich shop. That's what I think is best for that. It's been a liquor license lately, and it gets very loud. They have an outdoor patio, they have music, and they want a liquor license 7 days a week to 1 in the morning. I don't think it's the right area. It's very residential. We're about 150 feet from there. And it just gets very loud. We don't want people getting drunk there, loud, speeding up and down the street. And I don't think it's right to 1 in the morning that we gotta hear this when we gotta go to work in the morning. That's all I have to say. I don't think it's right to be there.
Thank you, sir. We'll be discussing this later on in the docket. We don't engage in back and forth at this time, but we'll definitely go ahead and be hearing this issue before us in a few minutes. Thank you. Anyone else in the chamber?
My name is Jennifer Minuto. Minuto, M-I-N-U-T-O. I live at 169 Bluff Avenue right here in Cranston, 02905. I had the great privilege and honor of opening the Blue Room last year. And I will tell you that we have had no complaints about parking. All of the complaints, by the way, would have come to me, whether it was noise or parking or traffic or, because I've been the one, leading this charge. And I can tell you there have been no real complaints. No one has actually come to me and said, there's a noise issue last night or yesterday. I don't know, I know there's no back and forth, but I think the previous gentleman mentioned Laurel Hill Avenue. That is not close to the Blue Room. So I'm not sure if he was speaking about the Blue Room or another location. But I just want to put myself on the record as saying, we've had the full support of the police department, the fire department. We've had 0 calls and 0 complaints. What we have had is a lot of joy and a lot of success. And I'm really thrilled to have the opportunity to have created something that can live on with such amazing, talented people in Jen Freitas, this incredible group of people. We do have some musicians, a couple of people who can testify very briefly to what this venue means to them.
Thank you.
I've never been to a meeting like this before, so you have to excuse me. My name's Mark Cutler. I live at 63 Colonial Avenue, right around the corner. And I'm speaking on behalf of the Blue Room. I'm a musician. I've been a musician most of my life, toured around the world, and now I live in Rhode Island, and I'm from Rhode Island. But I have some stuff that I've written down, and I'd like to say it. The Blue Room has been an important addition to our cultural community. World-class music is performed there every week, and the atmosphere in that place is positive, full of love and kindness. And I've had the pleasure and privilege of performing there, as well as being an audience member for various acts, running from folk to jazz to rock and roll to gifted high school students, performing with professional musicians from the area and beyond. Jen Menudo cares so much about the artists and the clientele that I feel that our community is really fortunate to have such a cool and welcoming place like the Blue Room in our midst. It would be a shame to let something like this slip away. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anthony Albanese. My address is 2204 Broad Street. I'm here tonight to talk against this transfer. Very simply, I know Jen. She rented from us years ago in the village. I know she was a piano player. I was told by the landlord, her landlord, that the thought for the Blue Room was to open up a little bar, a little piano bar where they would play piano music. I don't think she's played in there. I don't know how many times she's played piano, but it's turned into a nightclub scene with music that's quite loud. My bedroom is 30 feet away from her front door. They close the doors. I don't know if they close at 11 or 12 o'clock. I'm sleeping by that time. But it wakes us up sometimes at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm against it. I believe I was lied to. I believe this committee was lied to. Because I know that you were told that it was a piano bar, a nice quiet little piano bar. Now this Harris family that's coming in to try to buy that wants to expand on it, expand on the music, expand on the blueprint. The other issue is that people that are smoking out in front there, Boston's has their windows open, they're out there to 2 o'clock in the morning some nights. It's a disruption. Am I all for the arts? Absolutely. I own probably 12 properties in Patuxent Village. People call me to complain. They don't call Jen. I'm here to talk against it. You were lied to. I was lied to. I hope that this does not transfer over to them, and then the transfer then she's looking to expand on it. The parking's another major issue there. The only parking that comes with the Blue Room is also village cleaners. They got 10 or maybe 12 spots. You know, they have 2 waitresses, two bartenders. You put a band members in there, there's no parking. There's no parking in the village. We don't have enough parking in the village. Hopefully this committee can get like, you know, $20-25 million and build a 6-story parking garage for us. That would help. That's all I gotta say. Please reach out to me. I know a number of you know me. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in chamber?
James Kelleher, 55 Alhambra, James Kelleher, 55 Alhambra Circle in Edgewood. I'm here to speak on behalf of the transfer of this liquor license for a few reasons. One of which is it's an absolute gem of an operation. It's a real asset to the village. It helps set Patuxent Village apart from the other parts of Cranston and from really from a lot of villages in this state. It's been nothing but a positive, it seems. And moreover, this is a transfer of a liquor license, and not to be too technical, but it's really my impression that this is almost in the nature of a show cause as to why it shouldn't be transferred. And if the members of the committee were considering not transferring it, absent some anecdotal evidence, it seems to me that they would need concrete evidence that sound was emanating at an impermissible, legally impermissible level from that evidence and from that establishment. There's no such evidence to that effect. There's plenty of noise behind Boston for whatever that's worth. And if I were a neighbor there, I think I'd be concerned that there's an outdoor patio. There's a lot of chit chat. There are workers that are there after the restaurant closes. And I don't know how late those workers are there. If they're there till 1 or 2 in the morning, no idea. But if this committee were to consider not allowing this transfer, I think they're going to need a lot of concrete evidence, actual evidence that there's a problem here. But there's overwhelming support, I can tell you, in Edgewood for this establishment.
Thank you.
My name is Sean Montero, Montero. I live at 200 Cannon Street in Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm an international jazz singer and performer, and I've sung at the Blue Room, and I've been in the audience. It brings culture. It brings people to Patuxent Village to partake of the ice cream store of Basta. I have not seen any disruption in services at other places. I sing with a piano player, so I can say that we are not raising the roof at the Blue Room. It brings culture, it brings young people, people from Boston, people from Providence, all over to partake in this culture. I think Jen has done a wonderful job, and I support this club, and many, many people depend on the Blue Room. Thank you.
Greetings, Stephen Pryor. I live at 18 Imperial Place in Providence. That is very close to the district, which is owned by and operated by the Harrises. I served as a state official in the state for almost a decade. I'm not here in that capacity, but I did get to know the Harrises as they operated the district in both of my capacities as a state official at Commerce and Housing, and in my capacity as a neighbor. And I can tell you that there are no finer proprietors of an establishment. These are true professionals who know how to run a restaurant, and they know how to run it indoors and outdoors and make sure that the conditions are appropriate for a surrounding residential and commercial community. I'm just so impressed with Jen and Michael from my own observations, whether it was pre-COVID getting up and running, breathing life into a former restaurant location, very similar to the circumstances here, or whether it was during COVID, figuring out creative ways to solve problems and to do so constructively and within the rules, including solving parking problems, bringing their operation outdoors, things that might be analogous to what occurs here. And then since it's a restaurant that has flourished, so I'm impressed for all those reasons. But I have to tell you that the single most significant reason I'm impressed is that Sharon Steele was the lead testifier. She's the head of the Jewelry District Association. Her standards are so high, and you heard what she had to say. She's an observer of our scene and explained what we would all say as members of the Jewelry District community. Jen and Michael are the finest folks you could find to run such an establishment. We're so proud of them and hope that they flourish here in Cranston. Thank you so very much.
Good evening. My name is Joe Reardon. I live at 87 Alhambra Circle. I've been in the neighborhood at the same house for 37 years. I think we're very lucky to have the Blue Room. It has gotten good reviews from, different publications, and people know that there's quality music there. But ignoring that for a minute, first of all, between O'Rourke's, by my count, between O'Rourke's and the Shriners, there's 30 private businesses in that small area. So it's a commercial area, that stretch, right? And if you want good quiet, move to Alhambra Circle. Don't go to the Village. But people in the Village, I say, how do you like living there? Because I have neighbors who, friends who live there. They love it. They're like, hey man, why aren't you doing this? Anyway, so I can get off that. But you get the idea. The other thing is the room itself, the building is perfect for music. There is a restaurant on one side. There is a laundry on the other side. It is buffered by the buildings themselves. The other piece is the people who go there are like me. They're in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they don't want to get blown out. I've gone through the 60s twice, and I know what it is like to be this far, from the Who or whoever. And, you don't leave the Blue Room with ringing ears, okay? You leave with that you've gotten great, quality music. So that's important. It's not loud music. I mean, some people would say some of it is a snoozer, it's a little too smooth jazz. Anyway, but the other piece is the Blue Room makes the place safer. When people leave there are more eyes and ears in the neighborhood, and there are responsible people leaving there. So if there's criminals about, they're in the wrong situation because they can be seen and heard. So anyway, and also many businesses benefit from the Blue Room. You might go there and say, oh, there's doggy doos, or there's some service or product that you want that you didn't know about until you went there, especially the restaurants, because you might get something to eat before you go there or afterwards. And also the other bars, because you might want to do your drinking somewhere else before you go into the Blue Room. So anyway, adds to the business, adds to the safety, adds to the charm of the Village. What else do I have here? That's about it. But you get the idea. And these are responsible people. This isn't like three guys jumping in at this bar saying, oh, we know nothing about having a bar, but we're going to make a lot of money. These people, love music, and they want to perpetuate it. So let's see. That's about all I can see here. And that's it.
Thank you.
So it's an easy decision. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Alan Rudolph. I live at 81 Hope Hill Terrace in Cranston. I'll just make a brief statement. I know Mike and Jen very well. I've been to their restaurant. I have never seen an establishment ran the way that they run theirs. all their employees, everybody's like hands-on. There's just an amazing business owner, and I think that Rhode Island with Cranston rather, would suffer by not having this kind of art in our city, and I think that we should definitely grant them a license. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Attorney Thomas Hanley. You may remember me from your very kind, and had my client, approved my client opening the spot across the street back a couple of months back. I'm here tonight. I represent probably 15 or 16 bars in the city of Providence. I don't represent Jen and Mike, but I frequent their establishment. She took probably one of the toughest, worst bars in the city of Providence and made it into a very, very, very good restaurant that caters to an entirely different group. And Mike is a hardworking ex-policeman from Providence. They've done a great job in running that restaurant. It's probably one of the best places in the city. I wish my other 15 clients were half as good as there. I wouldn't be before the liquor board in Providence all the time. So I just want you to know that they're stand-up people, which is the most important thing in our business. And they know what they're doing, and they're going to be a great asset to Patuxent Village. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Mona Albanese. I live at 2204 Broad Street in Cranston, Rhode Island, 02905. And I'm here to discuss the Blue Room. You could pass these out. Where we live, and the Blue Room is 30 feet across the street. It is loud. There are live bands. Oh, it is loud. Thank you. There are live bands. I did speak with Jen when she had come to rescind her extension. And I said, we do have an issue. We discussed it, her and her wife. She said at 10 o'clock, she would close the doors because they leave the doors open. We have changed our windows to the amount of thousands of dollars. And the music just bounces off our walls. We can't open our windows from May to October because it's just loud music. Parking's an issue. She stated that everyone comes from another business or Ubers to go there, which I find a little unrealistic because we see people parking in our parking lot and we watch them walk there. So now we have spent thousands and thousands of dollars to make signs because our tenants were very upset that they're paying rent and their spots are taken by other businesses. Vasta's actually has an attendant outside, so their spots are not consumed by other businesses. They want to enlarge, they want a kitchen. They say it's going to be a jazz supper club, but I already heard the story about the piano bar where there's bongos, there's live bands. I can sing the songs with them on mic night. If anybody would like to come to our apartment, I'd be more than glad to welcome the committee with our windows closed and listen to the music. And it's till midnight and it's late. It's the Village. It's a different breed. We have invested heavily in this area. We have promoted it. We have built it up. It's a destination, but it's a village. It's gentle. 10 o'clock, the carpets roll up. I think midnight's late. We did meet with the Harrises, who are extremely nice people. We did discuss our issues with them. But again, it's parking, it's expansion. They still want to have music. I mean, I'm seasoned. I don't like to say old, I like to say seasoned. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. There are nights when there have been patrons of the Blue Room outside to 1:45 in the morning. hooting, wailing, screaming. People say, well, why don't you call the police? I guess I should, moving forward, do that because it's midnight. We thought we were very fair in asking them to close their doors. She said she would do that. She said she would hang up signs. Be courteous of neighbors. But I don't think, I mean, I like where I live. I like the village. I don't think I should have to move or go through this every night with this loud music because of inconsideration. So if you lived where I lived and it was like a disco place outside your bedroom every night to midnight, I can videotape it for you. I should have and probably brought it. That's how serious it is. I welcome business. We thrive with businesses in the village. We love it. It's a community. It's just not the place for this type of business. And if you don't believe that, you're more than welcome to come over my house, ring the doorbell, and you can listen to it yourself. I am not lying. And sometimes it's different when you're in the atmosphere and you hear the noise, you're with it, you're singing, but you don't realize it's traveling across the street and it's banging off the walls. We've changed our windows. We've done the parking. I just don't think that's our job to do. I think it's like a quiet community. And to leave a business open till 12 o'clock at night, there's no reason to it because by the time they leave, they're happy. And then we have to hear the happy. So I would appreciate any consideration you could give us. I would like you to step into our shoes and see if you would want that every night outside your bedroom window. Thank you so much. It was very nice meeting you all.
Is there, just give me 1 second. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? We just want to make sure we give everybody first the opportunity to speak before we move on to.
Good evening. My name is Franklin Polino, and I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Cranston. I have worked with Jen, trying to open that business, maybe a year ago. And this business is, this was like the missing piece to Pawtuxet Village. This is a hidden gem. Jennifer has done a great job. It's a great place for entertainment. We have helped her, with her business. And we believe we could give a positive recommendation for this license to proceed and be transferred. This is a good business in the city. We welcome it. We enjoy it. We visit her business. And, we're looking forward to the license to be continued and transferred. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Justin Braun. I'm the Operations Manager for Basta at 2195 Broad Street. I just wanted to take a quick moment. I'm not here to speak against any businesses, but rather in support of the community and the businesses that are there currently, Basta being one of them. We are adjacent to the Blue Room. And I just wanted it to go on the record just that, we're happy to welcome new businesses and we're happy to see things develop and grow in the area. It's a fantastic community. And we try to be as supportive as we can about new businesses coming in. We just want to make sure that as these businesses develop, that it doesn't affect the current operations of those that are around. Our windows are open right to the street outside of the Blue Room. As the business grows, and I know there are plans to grow the business, our concerns are simply just that the crowds outside, if they're gathering before going in, if they're smoking and loud chatting and this and that, we have diners with open windows right next to that. So we just want to make sure that that's all taken into consideration as this whole process goes forward. Parking is certainly a large consideration. We all know how tight it is in the neighborhood. As it was discussed, we have an attendant just to take care of our parking because we know the value of it and we know the importance. Several years ago when we opened the patio, we had to spend thousands of dollars to take out some trees and just expand our parking to accommodate that. And we know that there's some discussion of plans, but I can't help but think that they're going to somehow affect the businesses around the area. So we just wanted to make sure that with the rich history that the village has, you know, being around for hundreds of years, Basta itself for over 35 now, that as we go forward with this proceeding, with any other changes in the future, that those are all taken into consideration and the impact that those changes will have on the businesses that are there. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carolyn Bebo, Bibeault. Live at 30 Woodbury Road. That's right behind this whole area that we're talking about. We've lived there for a long time, as I said, and I don't have to move to Alhambra Circle or anywhere else. It was not like this when we moved there. It has grown. There have been the adjustments at Basta, and they've been very good about it. It's never a problem. And I'm also relatively close to Revolution, O'Rourke's, and everything else. And this one is just putting us over the edge because, like they're saying, there's smokers out in front and they're very ignorant. They don't want to put it away or anything. I've never had a problem with smokers in front of any of those places, Revolution, Basta, O'Rourke's, nothing. But now it's a big problem. And parking is definitely a problem. There have been times when cars are parked on both sides behind the bank and rescue would never be able to get through. This has been stated by several people, several friends and relatives and people in that area. And it just, especially talking about extending the hours in there would be terribly upsetting because, as I said, they're already not behaving well and they are loud. And about a week ago or less in this past week, the band had come outside on the sidewalk to play. And luckily it was earlier, it was like 8:30 maybe at night, so it wasn't that bothersome. But I said, it's just an example of what the other people are doing when they're coming out of there. It's loud, very loud. But the rest of the stuff, I disagree with most of them except for moving away from there. I should be able to stay without having any changes that are affecting us already. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leland Baker. I work for the Newport Festivals Foundation, and which I'm sure most of you know what that is. Hopefully, we produced the Newport Jazz Fest and Folk Fest, and we partnered with the Blue Room about a year ago, and have created a very fruitful community surrounding a collaboration we do, where we do a jazz jam session, second and fourth Wednesday of the month. It has been a huge boost in our community, our arts community. It has been wonderful partnering with the Blue Room and Jen, and I just kind of wanted to highlight their importance in the art community here in Providence, in Rhode Island, and how much they've contributed to that community in such a short period of time, which I hope we're able to continue that. That's all I got.
My name is Jeff Butler. I live at 155 Barn Door Lane, Cranston, Rhode Island. I own a house at 26 Woodbury Road, right behind Basta, the duplex. I also own 2214 Broad Street and Deer Hearts Ice Cream. So I'm a business owner in Patuxent Village, as well as a landlord property owner with 12 tenants. My residential tenants, I talked to them. They have no problem with this. They think it's great. In fact, one of the ones I was talking to today said I moved to Patuxent Village for the restaurants and the variety of businesses that are down there. And I've owned that property down there for about 30 years now, and I've seen Patuxent Village grow. I lived upstairs on my property and actually enjoyed it till I got married and moved to Western Cranston. So I welcome this. It's nice to have live music venue. There's plenty of restaurants down there. Of course, I have the ice cream shop, but that's what Patuxent Village is. It's a village of eclectic businesses, and it's a positive thing for the city of Cranston, as well as an economic boom, which I'm all for business. That's it. So I hope that they get it and you folks do the right thing.
My name is Jane Murphy. I live at 154 Armington Street in Cranston. I just want to say, as a consumer, I have attended the Blue Room many times. The first weekend they opened, my husband and I went 4 times. It was a holiday weekend. We went a lot. It was wonderful because suddenly we had a place right near where we live where we could go and hear live music, have a drink or two, and very, very frequently. We see friends when we go there. We go there fairly often and we spend money. When sometimes we meet friends in the village to go out to dinner first, and we spend money in the village at the restaurants along that street before going across the street to hear some music. We're part of the economy of the village, much more than we were before that bar was there. It's a wonderful place. I have never seen anyone behaving disorderly. I'm not a smoker, but I understand that people who smoke need to go outside to do the smoking, but I've never seen anybody behaving in an inconsiderate way. And the music is wonderful. It's a real gem. As other people have said, but it's a real a credit to Patuxent Village to have it there. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Beth Cotter, and I'm a resident of 129 Wentworth Avenue in Cranston. I was wondering if I could put some letters of support into the record. Hi, I'm just going to be very brief in my support of the Blue Room. It's a wonderful venue. It's a wonderful, happy place for our neighborhood. And when I go there, I almost always go to a restaurant first. I'll go to Basta, I'll go to Fellini's. I spend money. I invite people from other places in the state to come spend money in Cranston, and it's a great venue. Thank you.
And I just want to reiterate some context. Jennifer Menudo, 169 Bluff Avenue, Edgewood. I have received 0 complaints, not one time in the year I've been there. Has the police been called, the fire department been called, or has anyone walked 30 feet across the street to actually tell me that we were too loud? Yeah, I've received 0 complaints. And we've actually, one of the first things we did was sound testing. And I know that I reported that to the council last year. We were incredibly conscientious with baffling indoors and not actually checking the neighboring businesses to make sure they would not be disturbed. So the conscientiousness and thoughtfulness that went into this is shown by the fact that we've had 0 complaints about parking, 0 complaints about noise, and 0 complaints about traffic. Thank you.
Nicholas Matlock, 10 Kendall Drive, Lincoln, Rhode Island. Nicholas Matlock, Matlach. I'm an attorney representing Los Homies in response for the liquor application, and just wanted, if now is not the right time, but just to put on the record, the restaurant that they're opening there is by no means a nightclub. It's very different from what we're talking about with the Blue Room. It's a family-style restaurant designed to bring the neighborhood that it serves together to get to have a nice home-cooked Mexican meal and to have a cocktail along with that. The purpose of the license is not to create a music scene, a nightclub atmosphere, or in any way speeding and drinking and everything that was represented before. It's a family restaurant designed to be in the neighborhood that it serves, with only 20 seats at the restaurant, 5 seats at the bar, clearly designed to be a comfortable home-style environment.
Thank you. If we have any questions on that, we'll ask during the time that the applicant comes up. Thank you. Anyone else in the chamber that would like to speak on docketed items? Okay. You speak. I don't think I see anyone. Well, there's a person, any hands raised? Okay. Those that are joining us on Zoom, if there's anyone that would like to speak on docketed items, please raise your hand. I think if you're on the phone, it's *9.
I'm saying no public comment.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, public comments are now closed. I'm going to ask my colleagues on the committee to please entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order this evening.
Second.
Thank you. All right, the first item that I'd like to bring. Actually, through the clerk, can you please take a roll call on the motion to remove the agenda out of order?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, first item that I'd like to bring up is the Class C liquor license transfer. This is from Village Sounds LLC, doing business as the Blue Room, located at 2197 Broad Street. Jennifer Menudo, to Blue Room Rhode Island LLC, located at 2197 Broad Street. Jennifer Freyes Harris and Michael Harris. Set times that are indicated on the agenda is Tuesday and Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday, 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Matthew Jurzik, on behalf of Blue Room Rhode Island LLC, who is, along with Village Sounds LLC DBA Blue Room, before you tonight for a liquor license transfer. As I give a brief introduction, I'm going to hand out 2 letters of support. One is from First Circuit Court of Appeals Judge Roger E. Thompson, who also lives in the Edgewood neighborhood. And the second is from Providence Fire Prevention Lieutenant John Lima, who, like many others who testified tonight, have experience with Ms. Harris in Providence.
If I may, to
Thank
the
you,
chair,
Jennifer.
should I take, I'll make a
Motion.
motion to accept into the record the letters as just submitted by Attorney Jurzik. In addition, the letters submitted by Beth Cotter and the photograph submitted by Laura Albanese this evening.
Thank you. There were 6 letters, if we need any indication. And if we can add the email, Council President, as well received.
And the email received as well.
Thank you. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, to the clerk, can you please take a roll call on the motion?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you. Attorney Jurzik, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I am here as an attorney, but also as a neighbor. I also live on Woodbury Road, right behind Basta, and the property owner here at 2197 Broad Street is the Russo family, who, as many of you know, own the dry cleaners on the corner there. And I'm there frequently, as you can tell by what I'm wearing. But as someone who's lived in the village for 15 years and has raised 4 children, we have found the Blue Room to be, as many people have said tonight, incredible asset, along with the live music at Basta, and along with the live music Revolution, and along with the live music at O'Rourke's. The presence of music and vitality and arts and culture have brought a new sense of family and belonging and community to the village. And as someone who lives on Woodbury, I've seen the parking problems long before the Blue Room was there, and I'm sure it'll be there for quite some time. But for me, that's the price of admission. And we live in a vibrant village, and that's why we moved there, is to be able to walk to the bank, walk to the cleaners, walk to get Bagel Express and get breakfast, and walk to Basta on Oyster Night, and then go to the Blue Room after that. I'm here tonight with Jennifer Freitas Harris, who's to my right, her husband, Michael Harris. As many people testified tonight, Jen's the owner of the district in downtown Providence in the Jewelry District, which she's owned for 8 years. Prior to that, she's been in the restaurant industry for 30 years, but she's a Cranston girl through and through. She's lived in Cranston for over 40 years, attended Chester Barrows, Edgewood Highlands, and graduated from East. A couple of awards in addition to what Ms. Steele testified to as being an exemplary business owner in the Jewelry District. She received a Yelp Award for the #1 restaurant in 2018, Lord of the Pies winner for Best Pizza 2017, 2018, 2019, and Entrepreneur of the Year at the 2020 RISE Conference. I could go on and on about how wonderful and amazing it is to have a small business owner in Providence, a woman of color, look to expand her vision and her purpose in her restaurant career in Cranston. We all know that the Blue Room was struggling in the way that it was structured. And we are not here tonight seeking an expansion. We're not seeking food. We're not seeking any of that. a simple transfer of the liquor license as well as the entertainment license that at the appropriate time would ask the council to take out of order. As for Mr. and Mrs. Albanese, who testified against the application here tonight, I have good news for them. First and foremost, the hours are significantly reduced from the current Blue Room. So the hours proposed would have the establishment close at 11 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, Fridays, midnight, Saturdays, midnight, Sunday, 6 p.m. The current establishment is open past that. And I think these hours reflect what we have in the village, which is a village situation. Businesses are closed. People are in bed, as someone testified earlier. We have a seasoned community, and people need to get to bed early. So the hours are reduced. In regards to the parking, we have a representative of the property owner here. Along with this application is a lease for 13 parking spaces, which is what is required in a C3 zone for this particular application. Other than that, all the materials before you have been approved by the clerk. And in addition to asking for the entertainment license to be taken out of order, that's our presentation for this evening, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Before we go into the questions, I'd like to do a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm just gonna say on the record, I'm in full support of this, knowing Mike is a veteran, a former police officer. Jen, when you go into her establishment, sometimes she's sitting customers, sometimes she's in the kitchen cooking. I look forward to your establishment being here in Cranston, and I'm in full support.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Council President Marino.
Thank you, Council Vice President Vargas. I want to say this evening that I will be in support of the transfer of this license. The one thing that's disappointing this evening is that for some reason there is a sentiment of trepidation for the transfer of this license. The previous owner, I, as a councilwoman citywide, have not received any complaints about the operation of that business. I have heard nothing but accolades. It's been quite the opposite. And the current owners who are now transferring to the new owners of this license, the new owners, I have heard nothing but outstanding things about your establishment in the restaurant industry and your business acumen, and you would absolutely be an asset to the city of Cranston. And it is resounding and rare, the representation this evening from the community at large in support of your taking on this license. So I want to give you also a resounding welcome. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that I'm disappointed that there was some trepidation because it seems a very isolated few, and I don't believe that those complaints are warranted given the lack of complaints relative to that business that at least have been brought forward to those of us representing the city. Thank you.
Any other council members? Councilman Papalakis?
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I will be in support of this license tonight. You don't have a patio. Your hours are being reduced. The amount of public support that you had to come here tonight to speak in favor of this, I think expanding the arts, continuing the arts in the city is extremely important. So I will be in favor of this tonight. And just to the people that are nervous about this establishment going on, this body does have the ability to show cause any of our licensees or people that have our licenses that we issue. So if there is an issue down the road, we can certainly ask them to come back and we can try to address the situation through that manner. So even though it looks like it's going to get approved tonight, this committee still can have a hand in that. And, you know, this committee is pretty pro-business, so we want to work with the businesses that are here. So thank you.
Any other counselors? Okay, I will say that I will definitely be in support of this business as well this evening. pretty much just echoing what the council, my council colleagues have said, anytime that there is a problem at all with any business, either we as a council body bring someone as a show cause. Or what we also do is we hear any of the complaints from the constituents as well that we can bring to the table and really work with the business. I look forward under the new ownership that we could also build that relationship with the neighbors as well, the surrounding neighbors. You know, there was some concerns about smoking and potentially like signage, and maybe we can kind of just work along. I'm sure you've been a great neighbor where you are now, and I'm sure you'll also be a great neighbor now here in the city that you grew up, and it's nice to have you also invest in the city that you call home at the same time. As in the village, it's certainly you have a big support right behind you, and those that couldn't make it, I'm sure, are here in spirit. I've been hearing that there's been a lot of support as well as I've gone and had coffee during throughout Patuxent Village. People are actually looking forward to continuing to have a place where we could have a celebration of the arts and culture. It's certainly an asset to Patuxent Village. And so I embrace it very much. And again, my only ask is that we can work with the neighbors in terms of just making sure the smoking or signage. And so it's going from an old former business owner to a new business owner. And if there's anything at all that we can also do as a city council to ever have any type of community relation in terms of neighbors and the business, I'm sure the next council is happy to do that, or on my end as well. So that being said, if no one has any further discussion at all this evening on the Class C liquor license transfer to the clerk, can you please take a roll?
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Reno.
Yes.
Thank you. What I'd like to do is, while you're still here with us, move on to a entertainment license. This is new matters before the committee. Again, this is Blue Room RI LLC located at 2197 Broad Street under Jennifer Freitas. Hours Tuesday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday, 4 p.m. to midnight, Saturday, 10 a.m. to midnight, and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Is there a motion to approve the entertainment
Motion to
license?
approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this topic? Okay. To the applicant, do you have anything, or are we?
No, Madam
Well, feel
Chairman, I would
free.
just add that this application for the entertainment license is for live music only.
Great, thank you so much. All right, well, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to take a roll through the clerk.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Reno.
Yes.
Great, thank you. It'll now come before the full council at the end of the month. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
Chairman.
right, thank you. All right, the next. All right, so we're just gonna give a second. Right. We're now gonna move on to the new Class BV liquor license. To all that are here this evening, I'm sure you're all very excited. We do have a couple of other matters before the committee. All right. Right, new item, new Class BV liquor license, Los Homies LLC doing business as La Esquina located at 407 Laurel Hill Avenue. Juan Pablo Sanchez, Francisco Javier Hernandez, Puerta, and Efrain Sanchez. Hours Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Before we move forward to the clerk, I just want to double check. It says there's some outstanding items that are required. The letter of good standing, was that submitted?
We have not received it as of today. It has not been received.
It has not been received, okay. To the applicant was. Do you understand that there's still one item that's pending?
Yeah, yes, Councilwoman. It's a brand new company, so it does not yet have an status with the Department of Revenue. We are working on obtaining that letter, but it's obviously no past taxes have been paid or could be owed. It's just it was opened in September. The LLC was formed in September to start this business.
Okay, I'm gonna defer quickly to our legal counsel on this. I have to say that I could be wrong, but anytime there's something pending, depending on what it is, for the majority is mostly anything that's pending. We don't tend to pass it without the full documents that are being requested, but to our legal counsel.
Well, do you have a timeline on that by any chance, that letter?
Should be imminent, with the Department of Revenue, it's been requested from them, but they not yet, they have to create the roles and they have to create the docket in the system. It takes weeks to
Well,
do.
Madam Chair, if you want to do a condition on that letter of good standing, you can do a pending condition. Discretion.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant on that only because I think there's been businesses before us that we've also have said to them that because they don't have the good standing or any other documentations, we have said we've had to continue until the next month or until there's a next safety service meeting. To the clerk, was that the only item or was there anything else that was pending?
It's just a certificate of good standing. The certificate of good standing is the only item that we have, that we need.
Councilman Papalaskis.
I just had a question. When is the applicant plan to open?
Within, when's the opening? Okay. Okay.
Efrain Sanchez. We're leading to opening once we get all approved on everything. Once everything is done right, we're not trying to jump any hurdles or anything. We want to do everything as it goes. So we want to open probably November or something like that.
Open in November?
Yeah.
Is that that's the date you have in mind?
November.
Okay. If they're opening in November, sorry.
You have the right to make it conditional.
Okay, so let me just ask a quick question. If the letter of good standing, if you're opening in November, are you looking to open at the end? I'm just curious, middle, beginning of October?
The beginning of November.
In the beginning, okay. So President Marino, would you?
No, I'm not seeking to interrupt in terms of the determination you want to make with the letter of good standing. If they're not going to open to November, we do have later this month and could have a special session before the council meeting. But I just want to make note, I myself have issues with respect to the hours and we can take that up in discussion.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so we started obviously with the letter of good standing first. I would say that please work on getting that letter of good standing to the clerk's office because we are not going to be able to approve it without that letter of good standing before this committee. So.
Could I make one more comment on that before? Or is it?
What was that?
May I make one
Madam
more comment
Chair.
on that?
Do you want to do a motion for discussion?
Yep. Give me 1 second. Is there a motion to approve for discussion purposes?
So moved.
Second.
All right, sorry. Go right ahead. sir.
Sorry, what's the motion?
The motion is to just a motion to approve for just purposes and be able to discuss hours and everything else.
So on the letter of good standing, the purpose of that and the reason why we request letters of good standing is to ensure that we have taxpayers and that taxes have been paid correctly. So obviously, when we have brand new entities, a brand new LLC starting up, the letter of good standing's purpose is less significant or less impactful there. We'll certainly get that letter. It's not saying we don't need that at all. I just want to make sure we're weighing the balance of what that letter provides in the evaluation of a company versus the timing that it takes to get that from the Department of Revenue.
Okay. Great. So there was, in addition to that, there's a few other questions. Council President Hattie would like to probably ask a little bit about the hours. Or do you want to?
Through the chair, I can defer to Councilman Donegan since it's his ward, and then I can speak after.
Not a
Thanks.
problem. To Councilmember Donegan, floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Council Vice President. Good evening. My name is John Donegan. I represent the neighborhood on the body. First, I want to say I'm excited about the prospect of a business looking to join our community. And I do have concerns about a 1 a.m. close time. So I was wondering if you you alluded to it previously under public comment, if you could just tell us about the business, what your vision is for there, and also why 1 a.m.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could kind of walk us through.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
So these are 3 experienced restaurateurs in Massachusetts. They have a similar restaurant, this home style, family cooked Mexican cuisine. And their hours of operation there go to 1 a.m. And that's what they were approved before. And so they're trying to take a very successful model in Massachusetts and introduce that to the city of Cranston, introduce that to Rhode Island as their first step down here in that way. The model that they're transferring is one that's been successful in not having any problems from complaints of neighborhoods and being able to service the community that they serve so well. And so the hours were really just taken as a blueprint for a successful enterprise in that way. That being said, there's absolutely if it pleases the council to reduce those hours to 11 p.m. If that's better serves the community in that way. I also want to make a quick clarification. I know that this was a clarification that we made in writing in the file, but maybe didn't make a transfer here. So it's not just Saturday and Sunday, it's a 7-day operation. So it is, it was intended to be Sunday through Saturday, and I think it just something got transposed when we were filling out the application. I want to make it perfectly clear when we're talking about hours.
I appreciate that clarification, and I also appreciate your openness to compromise on the hours. So would the hours be 10 a.m. to hypothetically? I'm just going to read as I see it here. Would the proposed hours be 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week, or would the 1 a.m. only be the weekend? What would the hours be each day?
Say your name,
my name is Juan Sanchez. I'm currently owner from Massachusetts, and like he said, it's just a blueprint. That's the way I proposed it from another location. So that's, we use the same format over here in Rhode Island. So that's like, once again, it's very, we could manage with time, that's no problem. But with the same blueprint we had over there, we try to push it over here.
7 days a week at the same hours?
No, we could, once again, we could, once again, that could be very flexible on the, probably like Friday and Saturday, just 12 o'clock, and then during Sunday to Thursday, 11 o'clock.
Thank you. The reason I asked the question is because I've received concerns from neighbors about the hours. And I know in the past, at least for context, during my time on the council, there was one business who came to the neighborhood, and there were some initial concerns. They came back. They did some intentional outreach to the community, built some relationships, and there were no complaints that I received. A new business came in. There were an uptick in complaints and concerns. And so that's just the context that I'm here, representing that neighborhood with. A 11 o'clock on a weeknight is still, I think, late. It's right around the corner from school. You know, so that would be a concern to me, but, you know, if you could go, if like 10 on, because I want to see you succeed. And this doesn't mean that if the neighborhood buys in and there aren't complaints that those hours can't be changed at a later date, I won't be on the council at that point. But, you know, I think earlier maybe to start would be better. You know, you got a track record in Massachusetts, fantastic. Build that track record here in Cranston. Make sure that our community is behind it, and I think they will be, because I think it's going to be a great addition. But that's just where I'm coming from as the local representative.
Thank you. Councilman Campopiano.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I also have some serious concerns with the hours. In a prior life, I lived right across the street from this establishment when it was a sandwich shop, and I frequented them often. I can't see something that late at night. The parking would be on the street. The houses are very close. And being a restaurant, I'm looking more like 10 o'clock for hours for weeknights, but I do have serious concerns about the hours and what the business plan would be. Thank you.
Can I just ask again, Councilman Donegan, what are the hours? Did you just propose sometimes, if you can repeat those again?
I haven't. I think is 10 p.m. amenable?
It's certainly 10 p.m. on the weekdays is a acceptable compromise for the operation. I think that maybe extending it to 11 on a Friday, Saturday would be would also be serving in the interest of the community if it's not, you know, if there's no objections there.
Are you planning to have music as well outside? I know there's a patio. All inside, okay. Okay, so you're proposing 7 days a week from 10 in the morning till 10 p.m., 7 days a week?
It's 10 to 10 on every day except Friday and Saturday. On Friday and Saturday, it'd be 11 p.m. closing time.
Okay. I'm going to hold off on my other questions, Councilwoman Heroyan.
Just so I understand this correctly, this is a restaurant you would go sit down at your table, and then there's a bar with 5 seats. I have big concerns with the hours. I'm Googling on my phone restaurants here on Reservoir Ave, that the backyard is residential, that are very successful, and they close at 8 during the week and 9 on weekends. I know myself, if I had a restaurant right across, it does bother me with a new establishment, the hours. So I do have some concerns about that.
I think that's it's valid and understood. Certainly taking the community at large as to where what those restaurants are. I think that it's also helpful to take the context of the type of cuisine, the type of culture that this represents. Oftentimes having a later meal and designed to really support the community that it's in, you know, so we're not talking about bringing people in from across the city or from across the state into this. This is a neighborhood restaurant. This is 20 seats. This isn't designed, people aren't going to be traveling from across the entire state to get here type of thing. So serving them in their communities where they are to the hours that they want to be there was the intent of that as well. And I think to the extent that the community supports that and community frequents and attends that, will dictate the hours, I think, more than anything else at that point. So.
You expect families to go out to dinner at like 9:30 at night? I'm confused because you're saying it's an establishment where you'd go sit down, have a family dinner for 4 people, but expecting a liquor license like that late, you expect them to go in and sit down and have a dinner?
Well, I do think that young couples and families that don't have children, perhaps, you know, type of thing, would start their meal at 9, and would have a meal that would run till 10 or even into 11 o'clock at night on that. As not being an unrealistic expectation, especially for a Friday and Saturday. I think that late evening meals are common within some cultures, and I think that it's supported by this culture in Cranston.
Okay. I don't think we can, Council President Marino.
Thank you. As I said before at the outset, I had concern about the hours, and I was not going to be in support of a 1 a.m. or even a midnight in that area. I am inclined to be in support of a closing of 9 p.m. on weekdays, including Sunday and a Friday and a Saturday evening close time at 10 p.m. It is too close to a residential area. There is a lot that is involved in restaurants after they close. I will not be in support this evening if the hours are anything but that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. I actually 10 to 9 on my end as well on the weekday. And echoing the same hours that you have. Is that a time that you would be considered? Okay. All right, perfect. So what I'll do is we can't vote on this, but I think by the application, are you able to amend your application so when this gets reposted for the next meeting, you're able to actually have the right hours on here?
Yes.
To the clerk, is that how that works? I'm just double checking through legal counsel.
Madam President, you can amend it tonight, but I do want to mention a couple things. Past history, and I spoke to the clerk, on liquor licenses without good standing, we normally don't condition those. There's also a vitrilling license that doesn't have a Department of Health certificate either. So I might suggest the continuance. I don't think they have to amend the application, but I would continue it since it's a liquor license and it doesn't have good standing yet.
All right, if that is the case, then why don't we then continue it and then at the day of, we can amend the hours then, correct?
That's correct. They don't have to reapply, but they should work on getting those 2 certificates.
All right, perfect. Yes, so that way we can.
So let me withdraw my motion to approve.
Thank you. And then somebody please have a motion to continue.
Motion to continue.
Thank you. So, any discussion on that? To the clerk, can you please take a roll on the motion to continue?
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
And while we're here, and I have already the agenda out of order, and you're here before us, can I have a motion to continue the victualling license as well?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, to the clerk, can you please take the roll on it, continuing to the next, safety service meeting?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, thank you. You want to just get in touch with the clerk's office on the pending items? Thank you so much. All right, next item on the agenda is the Class A liquor license, renewal 08. Is there a motion to approve as a block the Class A liquor license on page 3?
Motion to take it as a block?
Second.
Second.
Sorry. Thank you. Is there a second
Second.
discussion? Okay, to the clerk, can you please take the roll call on a motion to take Class A liquor license renewal as a block?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan, Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, now, motion to approve the Class A liquor license. for block.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion, hearing none, to the clerk?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan, Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Right, next item is class as liquor license renewal.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next is Class BBL liquor license renewal, Baja Fresh Grill. Your motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All I will say on this, it probably has nothing much to do with the liquor license, but I just want to give my condolences to the Baja Fresh family who the owner passed within the last few days. So our condolences to the family and staff. To the clerk, please take the roll. Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Right, yeah. All right, next item is Class BV liquor license renewals. Is there a motion to?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, can I please have a motion to approve as a block? That's again, starting from Amadeo all the way over to Zona Lounge and Restaurants. Your motion to take as a block? A motion, yeah, motion to approve as a block. It was the second. And now the roll has to do a roll call on approving as a block. Oh. Motion to. We're just waiting on the clerk to do the roll call. Yeah.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, now is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the block?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next item is a Class D liquor license renewal. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, next up is Class J liquor license renewal, Roads on the Patuxent Village. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second?
All right, any discussion? No? All right, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, next item is the show cause. There's two items on here. I believe that is, they're gonna be continue. I'll need a motion to continue both items to the next safety service meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan. Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, next item is committee business matters carried over, auto repair license, JJ Corp. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second?
Okay. Is
Through
it-
the
you just-
chair, that was, are we on Caravan Auto?
Yes, there's a fire
That's-
inspection and
That
I was gonna do a
continued
discussion.
Because the applicant was not present
Are they?
and there was no, okay.
Fire inspection, but is there, you need are they here tonight? They got here by any chance? No. Was that fire inspection, done after the first one? That was, yeah, it seems like it failed.
We did not receive an approval from the fire inspector.
Okay, because we didn't receive it, then, we're gonna continue this.
I withdraw my motion to approve and make a motion to continue.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none to the clerk, can you please take the roll?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have the victual license, new Naga Brew Haven. I'm gonna turn this to the city solicitor to let us know, and to the clerk's office actually first. To the clerk, the certificate of occupancy, was that provided yet?
We have not received any, no.
Okay. To our legal counsel.
Yeah, in addition to the lack of the certificate of occupancy, there's no state health certificate either.
Okay. Are you here this, is that, yep? Hi, how are you? Just your name and address for the record for.
Hello, my name is Kamla Narendong, 45 Garden Drive, Riverside. 02915. Are you mentioning the Department of Health certificate?
Just told, yes, the certificate of occupancy, and we're told by the city's, city solicitor that the state health certificate is missing. Am I
That's
hearing that
correct. The clerk's office does not have it.
I have it. I don't know why. We passed that 2 months ago, and if I need to bring it to the file from the Department of Health?
Bring that, did you turn that into the clerk's office?
No, I didn't. I was told at the clerk they would be notified, but I can bring that if that's needed.
So, and then the certificate of occupancy, do you have that one?
No, we don't. We have a slew of problem, that one.
Okay, so why don't we step back 1 second? If you have your state health certificate at some point, would you be able to get that to the clerk's office? A copy of that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then on your certificate of occupancy, I'm sorry, you were gonna,
Excuse me, members, Franklin Polino. This business owners, was referred to my office, in economic development. We are helping small business come into the city. And, there's a process that must be done. We have the virtual license and, she needs to, once she applies for the virtual license, it gets referred to, the Department of, Work. And, we have to know, there's an application, which is the water discharge, what goes into the sewer. And that would bring in, the grease trap. And, she has to get a licensed plumber, and they have this application. And she has to go to that process. Until that process is done, she cannot continue on to the certificate of occupancy, which is a building inspection. So right now, she needs to do this application. And that's referred by the state, by the health department, because she has a sink there. And we have to know what goes down the drain into the sewer. So that's where she's stuck. So it's gonna have to be a continuation until she brings, and she does this work. My office is helping her to navigate to this process because she has to go through a lot of department. You know, I've been working with her. She was referred to us, and I'll see how we can help her. So she could open a business.
through the city's, I guess, maybe solicitor or the clerk, whomever is able to answer that, the information that was just shared, is that the proper steps? Is that accurate information? I guess is my question.
The bottom line is we need the certificate of occupancy. I appreciate the lending the hand, but we need that before the victualling license, which obviously a license to serve food, which obviously is an issue given these issues.
So we need the certificate of occupancy first, where instead, I think I'm hearing the economic development directors telling us that before the owner receives a certificate of occupancy, we need the victual license, and that's incorrect. We need the certificate first.
I would suggest Mr. Paulino maybe speak with building inspections and clarify all the issues. I don't know them firsthand. There might be more than that. So I would suggest that Mr. Paulino, maybe if he wants to help a hand, maybe he wants to speak with building inspections directly. That's not my office's authority.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On that note, she has to do this application in the Department of Work down here before she can go to inspection. Once she does that and have the grease trap there, then she can continue to build an inspection. And then they will continue to work on the CO. But she has to do this application and the plumber, they have to have that installed in her location.
If I'm understanding correctly, the inspections department is well aware and has said that she has to do the victual license. Sorry, she has to get the victual license first before she can get the certificate of occupancy. I thought, I may be wrong. Please educate me on this. But wouldn't inspections already know this information from the first time that the business owners went to inspections to begin with?
Yes, they know it, because if she would have gone to planning, they would have told her this. That's how come when she went to the business clerks, the first thing they ask her is she needs to get an attorney to guide her to this process, because there are multiple departments involved in this, and you have to go step by step. And, you know, you have to go to the Department of Work downstairs, and she will not know. She will go to the business clerk will send her to the virtual. They now is online. So she has to apply online, and then this application is not online. When she comes with this application, she does need a plumber to do this. And they're not gonna give her the permit until she does this grease trap.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Council President Marino and then Councilwoman Renzulli.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we're all clear here. All that this body is to do is to review the application before us, and it is a requirement that there's a certificate of occupancy. We are not able to issue a license for victualling. So whatever is required is required through inspections, and that is not with this body. So we will not be in a position this evening to approve of this license, and that is not a necessary step before a certificate of occupancy, as the solicitor just outlined. So I'd make a motion to continue.
Yes.
All right, there's a motion to continue. Any discussion? Councilwoman Renzulli? on the motion to
I just have
continue?
a question, just to make sure that, you know, can speak to the applicant while she's here, because I remember her being here last month. What was the business before you took this over?
Before I took it over, it was a smoothie coffee shop and they made waffle. We're not making food there. We're serving coffee.
So it was licensed as a coffee shop, they didn't have a victualling license as far as you
They
know?
did.
They did have a victualling license and they
Yes.
had a certificate of occupancy, obviously.
Well,
I don't know about certificate of occupancy. The reason
gotta be careful because we're not here to talk about the other business. We have to talk about this one, right?
Well,
But go right ahead.
it kind of relate to the problem we have to the current situation. Because I assumed that the plumbing situation was all set. And then I thought I applied, I did the zoning certificate, got certificate from the Department of Health. They came in and checked 2 months ago. And it wasn't a budget to think like the whole reason you buy a similar business, so you don't have to go through plumbing, electrical, and so forth. So what happened is that he did show to me he had business license. So we kind of finished like, okay, we're ready. We got all the paperwork. And think the first time is like, okay, you need to have grease trap. It was not within my radar about 2 months ago that was the case. And that's how we came up here. So I talked to Al, I think the engineer, Al Tutela. It's like I said, it's the same business. Why is it this time? Well, you have three bay sink. I was like, yes, it has, but does that indicate that, well, you're gonna serve food? I was like, most food are to go. They're not gonna even put food, we're gonna have to go paper and so forth. But just because I was told it has 3-bay sink and I thought it was all set, I was like, but how did the previous business get approved to run a business? Because it is misleading for a new business owner thinking that, hey, I can trust this certificate, this business license is all set for the purpose because I'm going to do the similar business. That's how we got this far. Otherwise, I would have planned with the plumbing and gone through the whole A to Z from the beginning in the right way. But we're willing to do permit and do add a grease trap. We did have that. There's been a back and forth communication where they say the grease trap size is too small. And at the point came, we found out last Friday, couldn't do it. And the plumber that was supposed to be working, he pretty much didn't want to deal with it. So now I have to find a new plumber to go through this whole process again. Before we can go get a certificate of occupancy, having the building inspector coming in. We did ask somebody that's working, hey, can you come in and check on this? To just point out exactly the size that you needed. But it has been a delay back and forth, 1 week passed, 2 week passed. And then we come to realize, I know in this meeting I might not get approved, but we're gonna come anyway and explain why there is further delay. I wish I was a plumber, to be honest. I think I can get it done.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor to continue. Where there's a discussion, that was the question that Council Renzulli had. That being said, there's further discussion. We do need that certificate of occupancy. Again, where I hate to see someone who's trying to really invest in our city of Cranston as a business and really unfortunately have to go through this, but we also are required to make sure that all the paperwork is also aligned before we can approve a business. So that being said, to the clerk, can you please take a motion, roll on the motion to continue?
Council Vice President Vargas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan?
Yes.
Councilman Donegan?
Yes.
Councilman Campiano?
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas?
Yes.
Councilman Wall?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next item that we have on here is, sorry, there's a gentleman here who has a child. Can I just ask which business are you? Sophia's? Okay, would you like to come up? Sorry, thank you. So next item is Sophia's Cafe Cranston, located at 1079 Park Ave, Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Anthony Ramos. Okay, can you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Anthony Ramos, 75 Appleton, Cranston. 75 Appleton, Cranston, Rhode Island.
Okay, that's a new business carried over. Is there any questions at all on this business before us this evening? Councilman Donegan.
Yeah, just want to say welcome. I know you guys opened up a little while ago. A lot of buzz. You taken over a building that was a Cranston, Rhode Island institution, and excited to have you in the neighborhood.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. I actually went by. I think I spoke to you not too long ago as well. So great pastelitos. I appreciate it, and Cuban sandwiches. If there's no other further discussion or questions for the applicant. All right, great. Through the clerk, can you please take, is there a motion? There was a motion to approve in a second, right? Is there a motion to approve
Motion to approve.
in a second?
Second.
All right. No further discussion. To the clerk, can you please take the roll?
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan? Councilman Donegan? Council Campiano?
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas?
Yes.
Councilman Wall?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
All right. Thank you, sir. This will all go before the full city council at the end of the month.
Right.
Okay, all right, you're all set. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh,
No,
yep.
it doesn't. That's just a victualling license.
Oh, it's never mind. This is new. So you're all set. Thank you. Yep. All right. Next item is the mobile food establishment license, WBM Factory Elementary, doing business as Gonzalez Food Truck.
Motion to approve.
Yes.
Motion to ratify the action.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan? Councilman Donegan? Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
All right, next item, there's nothing on traffic engineering, nothing. Police department or fire department. Can I have a motion to approve the license renewal before the committee as a block?
So moved.
Second.
All right, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the block.
All right,
This for discussion. We're gonna approve all of, Roman numeral 12, I assume?
no, so it's not all seven. So it goes from additional hours victualling on page 5 up until Zwerge Inc. doing business as Dunkin' Donuts on the top of page 6.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so there's a motion, there's a second, any discussion? All right, so clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall. Council President Moreno.
Yes.
Next item is Class F liquor license, Rhode Island Aviation Hall of Fame. Is there a motion to approve?
I think we need to go back. That was a motion to take.
Sorry, we have to now vote as a block. I apologize. Yes, is there a motion to vote as a block?
No, we already did. I think we need to make I'm gonna make a motion to approve the additional hours victualling licenses. That's a block.
No.
Second.
So clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
Now we have the Class F liquor license, Rhode Island Aviation Hall of Fame. Is there a motion to
Motion
approve?
to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All right, hearing none to the clerk, please take a roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
Next item is the entertainment license. Is there a motion to vote as a block?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, to the clerk, can you please take a roll call on the motion to approve, sorry, to vote as a block?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the block.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, so clerk, please take a roll call.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
All right, next item is the massage therapy license. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion on this item? Hearing none, to the clerk, please take a roll call on this.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
Next item is the mobile food establishment. Ratify the action. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Moreno.
Yes.
All right, the next item is the private detective license. Before we move forward, I just want to kind of have the city solicitor, just let us know in terms of, legal advice on here. There's an application that came through, and I think that there's 2 questions that are, unanswered before we put a motion on the floor to vote and approve.
Yeah,
Do-
thank you, Madam Chair. The private detective license application, it was brought together by this committee as well as the clerk's office, as well as the police department. It's 1 page. The last version, I think, was July 2024. There are 2 questions related on the private detective license. It's renewed every year. One of the questions is, are you licensed to carry a revolver or pistol in the state of Rhode Island? The second question, will a revolver or pistol be used in your capacity as a private detective? In this particular case, those were unanswered. And so the clerk's office needs this application to be completely filled out.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant here this evening? No? Okay. If the applicant's not here this evening, I feel compelled to really just continue this and have the clerk's office reach out.
This is a renewal, so they normally don't appear, but if the
Okay.
committee would like him to be present, we can ask him to come next month.
Would we be able to then reach out and let them know? Okay. All right, so at this point, then I would have to do a motion to continue to the next safety service.
Motion to continue.
When is the expiration date to the clerk? Do we know? Is it a 1-year
I
renewal
believe
or is
it's
this
December.
December of this year? You know, it's interesting. They don't have it on their application when it expires.
November 5th.
November 5th? All right, are we able to reach out then to the applicant tomorrow at some point this week before November 5th or within the next few weeks, letting them know?
Through the solicitor, should that be part of the motion to ask that the applicant appear? Only because it's a renewal.
Motion for the applicant to appear at the clerk's office? No, I don't think that's necessary. Appear at the committee. You're asking for them to.
Well,
appear
no,
before-
no, no. If, can the clerk reach out to the applicant, just let them know that their license is expiring November 5th and that their application.
He is
didn't
aware that
indicate-
those 2 questions were not answered. We asked him to answer those questions and he refused.
Okay, so then at that point, it is a Rhode Island state statute that they have to answer the questions.
About that. The statute lets every municipality craft their own questions. There's nothing that prohibits those questions from being asked. It kind of varies by municipality, but Cranston has every right to list those questions.
Okay, so it is up to us as a legislative body here to approve it without those questions being answered or not, correct?
Well, the application goes to the clerk and it also ultimately goes to the police department's files and there are 2 unanswered questions. So that application is just left open. And by the way, it's on the burden of the applicant. So I think the clerk's office can reach out, but clearly this person has refused to answer those. So that's at the discretion of the colonel and the clerk.
Did we reach out to the police department, to the clerk on this applicant?
The
for
police
background?
department does receive a copy of the applications. I'm not,
there's-
whether they review it or not, I don't know.
And there's no one here, so, Councilwoman Manzulli? Okay, sorry, Councilman Paplaskas?
Yeah, I think we should just continue it. I know our next meeting, I think, is the 7th. His license expires on the 5th. I think if we send him notice that renewal is going to be on the 7th, lapses for those 2 days because of these unanswered questions, it'll give him the opportunity to come back or maybe amend his application in the meantime.
Yeah, no, that's a fair ask. Is that something that the clerk's office is able to do, just to reach out again? Person may say no at that point, and then it comes before us and we can address it then. But I personally, am not gonna be able to vote on this tonight the way it is without the application. Those 2 questions being unanswered.
And just so the committee's aware, we have the new portal where they're applying online now. The private detective, I believe we're working on trying to get that online, only because we have to have the fingerprinting done on it. So we're trying to work around that. So eventually that will be on the portal. So if those questions are not answered, they'll be rejected.
Okay. All right, thank you. So that being said, I believe there's already a motion to continue in a second. Any further discussion? All right, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan?
Yes.
Councilman Donegan? Councilman Campiano?
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas?
Yes.
Councilman Wall?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes.
Next item is victual and license. Their motion,
A motion to vote as a block?
all victualling licenses, yeah. And
Second.
thank you. And so the victual license, it's a motion to vote as a block would be the victual license from Alpine Country Club all the way through, hold on 1 second. Would it go all the way to Wang Hing Restaurant doing business as Young Sing on page 10. And do you have to recuse yourself?
Yeah, so I have to recuse myself because of Tommy's Pizza. So I don't know if you want to take that separately and I'll vote on, if you want to do the block minus Tommy's Pizza and then Tommy's is on. And just for the record, I do pizza delivery there a couple of nights a week. I don't cook in the kitchen, so you can still eat there. It's probably good, but I'm going to recuse out of abundance of caution.
All right, so we'll leave it as to vote as a block. You want to just recuse all of it? All right, so there's a motion to vote as a block. Any discussion? To the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right,
Motion to approve as a block?
Second.
all right, there's a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, to the clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, great. This item is monthly schedules. Let's see, we're entering those into the record. Is there a motion to approve?
No, you need a motion to enter it into the record, correct?
A motion to enter the list from roads on the record, yes. All right, any discussion? Seeing none. All right, to the clerk, please take a roll.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan. Councilman Campiano. Councilman Paplaskas. Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, there's no communications, there's no presentation, and I believe we have gone through the entire docket. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, and if that is not the case, then there's there a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it, meeting adjourned.
We'll begin at 8:03. Everyone, council members, if you could please take your seats. Commence with the Finance Committee meeting. Good evening, everyone. At this time, we'll call to order the October Finance Committee meeting. Clerk, if you could, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Present.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilman Ferry, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Present.
Councilman Campiano,
Present.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Present.
Councilman Wall,
Here.
Council President Marino.
Present.
At this time, I will entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the September 9th regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
Again,
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we have committee business matters carried over. First, we'll entertain a motion for approval of sealed minutes of the July 1st, 2024 executive session.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And I do want to thank the council president for preparing those. If there's no other discussion, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we have business matters continued from previous meetings. Both ordinances 122301 and 122302. There's a request for a 1-month continuance. So at this time, I will request a motion for a continuance of 1 month on 122301.
So move.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan. Yes. Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we'll entertain a motion for a continuance of 1 month to the next Finance Committee meeting for 122302.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
For matters carried over, we have 62401 ordinance allocating 2.5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act funds for the purpose of supporting school projects, upgrading City of Cranston and CLCF properties, and providing finance assistance to small businesses. Sponsored by Mayor Hopkins. At this time, this has been continued from July and September. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for a continuance of 1 month.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Councilwoman Renzulli.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm just wondering, going to hold this up, is it still being held up by the litigation or negotiations based on this city suing the council on the opera money?
Yes, so my rationale for continuing this another month is the lawsuit or the suit that the mayor filed against the city council is still pending. I think it would be premature, in my personal opinion, to move forward with allocating these funds until there's resolution to the ongoing suit.
As the finance chair, have you received any information on how that's going? Can we anticipate getting any information before the end of the month? I know that I can't really discuss it because it's not on here, but it has to, we're still holding these up, and I still don't really agree that we should, I think that's separate and apart from this anyway. That's just my opinion, but I'm just wondering how long we're gonna continue to hold up this money, because the schools want it. I know that they need it in order to do the work they have to do, so.
Yeah, all I can say is the matter is still pending.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
No.
Councilman Paplaskas,
No.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
At this time, we'll open up the floor for public comment for any docketed matters. Please limit comments to 4 minutes, and as you come to the podium, please, your name and your address for the record. If there are any members of the public that are here in person this evening, the floor is now yours.
Good evening, council. My name is Gary De Silva. I'm the assistant business agent with the Teamsters. I don't live in the area. I don't know if you need my address for that. I represent sure, DA, capital SILVA. I represent roughly 110 hardworking members ranging from clerks to dispatchers to DPW, just to name a few. As you may know, we have been bargaining for the better part of 4 months. Having said that, we have a TA on all non-economic issues. I want to take this opportunity to thank the City of Cranston representatives for bargaining in good faith and for taking the time to understand the issues we brought forth. As you can probably guess, it's economic issues that are still on the table. I won't get into specifics as I don't believe this is the forum to do so. And as we are well aware of the economic challenges that we are going through and how difficult it has become to support our families during these hard times. All our members ask is to be paid fairly. I would say the Teamsters of the City of Cranston are hardworking employees who work with the public on a daily basis. The city has employees who have been here for many years. They take pride in the work they do. As I mentioned before, from the dispatchers who handle emergencies and difficult situations every day to the DPW who handle the storms and keep the streets clean and safe, which typically take hours to do so. Or to the employees at the senior center who run programs for our seniors. I think you get the point. The Teamsters work hard to keep the City of Cranston running. I do believe the mayor's office understands this, and I also believe we aren't that far apart on an agreement. I ask the city to take into consideration everything I have mentioned this evening when we sit down again for negotiations on the 24th. Thank you.
There are any other members of the public that wish to speak on any docketed matters?
Good evening. Michael Favicchio, Personnel Director for the city. I just wanted to make a brief comment, because obviously this is really a matter for executive session, so no details can be put forth. And I believe it may have been a mistake that it's under council member communications. I didn't think that those were out for public discussion, but there are negotiations going on. It's in mediation at this point, and there's nothing else we can say on the record. And this isn't the forum to negotiate. So I think that it's probably something, I don't think it's ever happened before, but it's been on the docket prior to any agreements. So I just want to say that. And despite that, we've had some very cordial meetings, and we'll probably complete it fairly soon. But again, I think that any discussions usually are the subject of executive session in these type of matters. So, thank you.
Thank you, Director. Are there any other members of the public that wish to speak this evening on any docketed matters? Seeing none in person, all right. Tom, is there anyone online?
There is no public comment.
At this time, public comment is now closed. We have new matters before the committee. The first being resolution calling for an independent investigation relative to complaint PC 2024-4766. David Broccoli et al. Versus Kenneth Hopkins, the City of Cranston, Anthony Moretti, Paul McCauley, David Rodeo, and Chris Millay et al. This is sponsored by Council President Marino.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Council President.
Yeah, Councilman Donegan, as you know, the full city council meeting, we heard from during public comment, Attorney Stiles, who said that he was hired to represent the city of Cranston in this lawsuit. And I see on the agenda there's executive session. For that reason, I would ask that you take a motion to take the agenda out of order and that we proceed with the executive session first.
Yes. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to take the docket out of order.
Motion to take the docket out of order.
Is there any discussion?
I think you need
Second.
the motion to withdraw, the motion to approve first, Councilman
I
Donegan.
withdraw my motion to approve. So. And make a motion to take the docket out of order.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Reno.
Yes.
And at this time, we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant Rhode Island General Law 42465A2.
Motion to go into executive session.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Reno.
Yes.
this time, we'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
This time, we'll entertain a motion to seal the minutes of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Just want to report out that no votes were taken in executive session. Still before us is the resolution calling for an independent investigation relative to complaint PC 2024-4766, David Broccoli et al. Versus Kenneth Hopkins, the City of Cranston, Anthony Moretti, Paul McCauley, David Rodeo, and Christopher Malay et al., sponsored by Council President.
Make a motion to continue to next
Second.
month.
Any discussion on that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, can I just briefly speak?
Yes.
I just wanted to reiterate that you just had an executive session. The legal department was not present at that executive session. Also was available was Attorney Ryan Stiles, who's defending the city in the action. He was also thinking he might be able to enter the session, but he was not at the executive session either. I do want to remind everyone here that every word spoken in there is confidential, cannot be spoken to anyone else. And I believe it's an independent investigation that you're looking for, not an investigation under the charter. And finally, I would just ask, and I think Attorney Stiles was going to agree with me, I would let the civil lawsuit proceed and be careful of any public statements in any way that might compromise the defense of the city. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Solicitor. Is there any further discussion on the motion to continue? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we have real estate tax abatements.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Next, we have tax interest waiver approvals.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
All right, and lastly, under communications this evening, is a discussion on the contract for Teamsters Local Union 251. We know we heard from a representative, both from the personnel department as well as from the local, was admittedly, and I'll accept fault here, this was also supposed to be under executive session. That's on me. But generally seeking an update, which I believe we have received. Is there anything you, Solicitor, that you wanted to add?
Through the chair, as you know, if you do make it an executive session at some point, obviously the personnel director can be much more free about the status of the negotiations and can go through more specifics. And he will be available at your next meeting if it is an executive session.
To the clerk, if we could add that under executive session for the next meeting, for the November meeting, that would be appreciated.
Councilman Donegan, can I just jump in here?
Yes, Council President.
Solicitor Rawson, I don't see Director Favicchio here anymore. Do you know offhand if there is a meeting that will be occurring later this month so that we could instead put it on the full council meeting rather than waiting until November? Okay. Okay.
I think it was later this month.
Okay.
Was it October 24th? October 24th.
Okay, so, to the clerk, when is the monthly council meeting for October? The 21st?
It's October 28th.
Okay, so then I'll ask the clerk to put it on the agenda under executive session for the full city council meeting on October 28th, because that will be before the next finance committee meeting in November. Okay. Thanks.
In that case, then I'm going to remove it from the next finance committee meeting. From the agenda. Okay, with no other business before us this evening, is there any other discussion on that before we? Okay, with no other business before us this evening, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. We are adjourned.